This is the Impact Ready Shear attachment from Dewalt. Runs on your impact driver or your drill. Let's check it out. First of all, just to show you how this thing cuts, if you haven't used a power shear before, it is a pretty dang good way to cut sheet metal. Thin aluminum like this will cut no problem. You got one moving head and one fixed. Set your fixed head on your line and just run it. All right, now as a shear, I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but it does have some nice features. You can actually rotate this head if you want to, or you can lock it in. In my experience, it does better on big straight runs of sheet metal. This thing's got some wobble to it and some warp, and sometimes that'll get in your way. But with big straight runs or simple curved runs, it actually just eats it up. All right, now in terms of the way this thing attaches, basically it's got two things going on. One is that it clamps down to the base of the impact driver or the drill. Here it's on my impact driver, and it just kind of screws on. And that is just a stiffener. Like, you don't actually need this thing, but it stiffens it up a lot. So you just kind of slide that on to the base and tighten it up by hand. And then the rest of the attachment is just straight up. It's just like an impact bit. Just slide it in the slot and it's good to go. And then the orientation you want is the fixed jaw on your left and the moving one on your right. And this, like I said, you can kind of rotate it if you need to. Like if you need to make a curve, if you're doing like auto body repair or something like that. Or you can just lock it in place so that it doesn't move on you for making those straight runs. As for tips on using the shear, you really kind of have to get a feel for it. Basically, when you start, you want to be in the up position. You want this thing as open as possible so you can get your sheet metal in there. And you need to not hit the trigger too fast. If you just hit the trigger and get moving, you're not going to cut. With all shears, you need to kind of ease into it and get a feel. It's as much you're pushing as it is the speed of the shear that make the cut. All right, that is Dewalt's shear that easily fits on your impact driver or your drill. It's a simple unit, easy to store in the toolbox, just tucks away like nothing. And you've got a shear without having to have a whole dedicated tool, either an air tool or an electric tool. This baby just runs right on your drill or your impact driver.